To make a move like that, you have to have kahunas and conviction.
Long-term, I'm bullish. We could see about a 20% correction next year.
This is Josh Jelinski, the financial quarterback. Don't touch that dial. So, Bob, how can retirees make the most of Social Security and Medicare?
Well, the important thing is to select when your retirement benefits begin. That's optimal for you. Many people select them very early. Majorities begin their Social Security retirement benefits before their full retirement age. That means they get less money than they would if they'd waited. The optimum thing for many people is to wait as close to age 70 as they can. That's when benefits are maximized. When you wait, your benefits increase by 8% each year just for waiting another year. That's a tax-free increase in your benefit. In addition, going forward, that higher benefit is indexed for inflation each year. So it's a really powerful benefit that many people are just leaving on the table, shortchanging themselves tens of thousands of dollars over their retirement years. What's particularly important for a married couple is that they coordinate their benefits. Many people only look at the Social Security income when it begins. But what happens is eventually one spouse dies. And when that happens, one of the Social Security benefits ends. Typically, in most situations, it's the higher benefit that continues. So you want that higher benefit, the one that continues, to be as high as possible so the surviving spouse does not have much financial distress. And that typically means in most couples, whichever spouse was the higher earning spouse should wait for as long as possible to claim Social Security retirement benefits. Wait until age 70 if you can. Many people can, but they don't. They have this idea they should claim the benefits as early as they can. They're worried they're not going to live long enough to get the benefit of waiting for that higher monthly payment. But if you're a married couple, you have to look at the situation for both spouses and realize that at some point, one spouse is going to be living alone, that one of those Social Security benefits is going to end. So you want, whichever spouse it is, you want that spouse to be receiving the highest possible benefit they could. And many people are not doing that. And it's something that really hurts people later in retirement. Social Security becomes a much more important factor in people's retirement income as they get older, partly because the inflation indexing is increasing the amount of that Social Security income, and partly because they're spending down their other assets early in retirement. So Social Security is a greater part of what they have left. So it's important to optimize that Social Security benefit for you, to consider it very carefully. Look at long-term projections. There are a number of calculators available where you can plug in your individual data, and it will tell you what the monthly and what the lifetime benefits will be under different scenarios. So I recommend that people take that approach rather than just doing some kind of ad hoc determination of when they should claim the benefits.
Great. What about Medicare? How do people make the most out of their Medicare?
In Medicare, currently, there are two paths you can go. You can go with the original Medicare, or you can go with Medicare Advantage. And right now, they are estimating that after this current open season, that there's going to be about a 50-50 split, or Medicare Advantage might actually have more than half of the Medicare beneficiaries enrolled in it. Now, what happens in many cases, the Medicare Advantage is very attractive in the early years of retirement when people are relatively healthy. You just pay the Part B premium for the most part, and you get extra benefits. You have an annual spending cap of around $7,000. It's indexed for inflation each year. And so it's very attractive to people. With original Medicare, if you want to go that route, first you need to supplement it. You need to cover the gaps in Medicare. So you also need to sign up for a Part D prescription drug plan and a Medicare supplement plan, also known as a Medigap plan. That will pay for a number of the benefits that basic Medicare, original Medicare, does not cover. Now, the advantage of original Medicare with this package of the other two policies is you can choose whatever medical provider you want who accepts Medicare. And you determine whether you're going to have certain medical treatments, whether you're going to have surgery or not. It's all between you and your medical providers. With Medicare Advantage, you're basically in a plan. You have to go to the doctors and other providers that are part of the plan. Also, in most of these plans, you don't get the surgery or any other treatments. You don't get to visit a specialist until that's been approved by either your primary physician or whatever process the Medicare Advantage plan has. So you lose a lot of your choice and a lot of your control. And that comes into play with more people as they get older and they get more medical conditions and they decide they want to look for what they consider to be the best, at least in the area, or maybe over a wider range of area. And they can't do that with Medicare Advantage. You can do that if you stick with original Medicare. So it's important to make the right choice initially about what's best for you. Do you want to go with the original Medicare route, or do you want to go with Medicare Advantage?
Well, it seems like Medicare Advantage could be cheaper, but it seems like sort of the old HMO framework. You're kind of hedged in to a particular network. With traditional Medicare, you could pick, I believe, G or N, and then you're a free agent. You could go to the best hospitals in the world. So to me, kind of from having various experts on Medicare, it seems rather simple. If you got money, pick G or N. If you're struggling, right, maybe Medicare Advantage is the best way to go. If you're broke and your doctor's in that network, Medicare Advantage is the one for you. Am I oversimplifying this?
No, it's a good summary. In the short run, Medicare Advantage is cheaper because you're not buying that other insurance. It's built into the Medicare Advantage plan. But in the longer term, when people actually have significant medical expenses, it turns out going with original Medicare and these other two policies is cheaper because most things are covered and the amount of out-of-pocket expense is often less than the maximum out-of-pocket in Medicare Advantage. Out-of-pocket in Medicare Advantage is around $7,000. That's in addition to your Part B premium. And you'll pay more in original Medicare if you're not incurring a lot of medical expenses. But if you're incurring a lot of expenses, you'll hit that annual spending cap on Medicare Advantage pretty quickly, and you'll find you're spending more through Medicare Advantage than through original Medicare. So as long as you're relatively healthy, Medicare Advantage is less expensive, but once you reach the point where you're incurring meaningful medical expenses, it turns out original Medicare with those other two insurance policies will be cheaper.
Okay, great. And what other tips on Social Security or Medicare before we go to income and how to create an income in retirement?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of people are concerned or believe that since the trust funds are running out of money, that means the programs are going to end. That's not the case. So it's important to know that you're going to receive at least some level of benefits. We're not exactly sure how much, but don't go through life or through your retirement planning thinking that Social Security benefits are just going to disappear, that you're not going to get any money from it. It's a valuable benefit. It's indexed for inflation. It's guaranteed for life. The amount you're going to receive is uncertain because of the trust fund problems. But don't assume you're not going to get anything from those programs.
Great. Now, you mentioned annuities, and you follow my exact same rule, which I tell people in retirement, make sure Social Security, pension, and annuity income equal your basic living expenses. It seems very simple to me, but a lot of retirement people say, oh, I don't want to do an annuity. Why should people consider what would you call it? Like the Rodney Dangerfield of the financial planning world, as I believe Jane Bryan Quinn, who was against annuities, now she's for annuities. She calls annuities the Rodney Dangerfield of investments. Mm-hmm. It's not really an investment, it's more of a savings product, but I get the point.
Yeah, annuities get a bad rap, and that's because many people just lump them in as one big similar product, but there are many different types of annuities. The ones that get bad raps for having high fees and other bad features, they deserve it. But there are certain annuities that are very good for retirement savings and for being in retirement. And these are the single premium immediate annuities. The classic annuity You give a lump sum to an insurance company, and it begins paying you a guaranteed amount every month for the rest of your life, no matter how long you live. It's very simple. There's no extra fees. The fees are all built into the amount you're going to be receiving from it. It's guaranteed as long as the insurance company's in business. If you look at economists who studied retirement, they all say that people in retirement should have a significant amount of their savings in these immediate annuities. But actually less than 5% of retirees own them. And that's partly because there's this bad press about annuities that are basically directed at different types of annuities other than these single premium immediate annuities. So you need to put all that bad press aside because it does not apply to these types of annuities. And that's sort of the trap that Jane Bryant Quinn fell into, is she was looking at the big picture and just lumping all types of annuities together rather than looking at the different types and realizing that some of them are very good, very low cost. Other people have complaints that they don't want to give up control of their money to the insurance company. They don't want to give up the potential to earn a higher return. And those are good comments to make. But that's why I don't recommend you put all your retirement funds into these annuities. Instead, as we said, put in enough so that with Social Security and any pension you have, it covers your basic living expenses.